Let me paint you a picture real quick. Hello, empty parking lot again. I highly underestimated how difficult it would be to switch from night shifts to days. I think I got maybe a quality 2-3 hours of sleep because my body would not let me go to sleep. But I'm back here, except in the morning. So today is my one day off of the week, which means that I get a time to kind of debrief, decompress, and process a lot of what has been going on throughout this past week. In terms of milestone memories in med school, what do you often think of? Probably like getting your letter of acceptance, getting that white coat, maybe seeing your first patient, acing your first exam. I'll be willing to bet catching your first baby on your OB rotation and being the first hands to touch new life entering into this world is definitely one of them. Between the less elegant parts of the job, like getting peed on, pooped on, having amniotic fluid on me, and just a ton of blood on me, there's some pretty beautiful moments that take some time to digest and really process, because in the moment your adrenaline's running and you don't really think what you're doing, but then a couple days after, I think it really hits you. Good. What's good, homie? It's really nice to talk with fellow classmates on their rotations, aka I just had lunch with one of my friends. I've had calls with my parents, talks with my roommates to kind of, how do I put this? Explain what it feels like to go through some of these unique experiences as a medical student that you will never ever have again. Because you're only going to have your first baby or catch your first baby once. And like, again, it's so hard to put it into words, that feeling. And actually, wait, I might need some backup for this.
Hello.
Hello, hi Diane.
Hi, Andy.
So, say hi to the people.
Hello, people. How are y'all?
Oh, you're on your OB rotation with me, right?
I am.
Have you caught a baby?
I have caught a baby. I've gotten to help catch a few babies, actually.
So, what are your first reactions to that first time when you delivered your first baby? Like, what were you feeling?
It happened really quickly. So we all ran into the room, and I'm like looking everywhere, trying to like, I guess, take in the moment, trying to see like who's in the room, look at mom's face, look at, just like who's all there and what everyone's trying to do. And then before we know it, baby is coming out. I'm being guided how to kind of help hold the baby and like the best way to take the baby out. And then baby just started crying. Mama started crying. I like almost started crying too, honestly, because I was like, "Whoa, this is really intense."
What were you kind of feeling? What are the emotions going through your head holding the baby for the first time?
Okay, so it happened so fast, and I was honestly really scared because like the baby is so little, so you're like, oh my gosh, am I gonna drop baby? But obviously that's not gonna happen. But you're just looking down, and I was like, oh my god, you are like 2 seconds out of the womb and just so little and so small. yeah, I don't know. I felt really happy and, like I said, a little scared that I was gonna drop baby, but I did not.
I think that accurately captures the emotions of a med student catching their first baby.
Yeah.
So here is how my first delivery went. It was on my second night shift of my 3-night floats. The first delivery I experienced was with dichorionic diamniotic twins that came in for an emergency. She came in fully dilated and fully effaced, meaning she was ready to go. First one came out vaginally, and then the second one was an emergency C-section. Fun fact, those two happened on different days. First baby was born about like 11:45-ish. Second one was 12:26. So they're twins, but they have different birthdays. That's cute. But since it was kind of a crazy emergency situation, I didn't scrub in until near the end of that emergency C-section where I helped close. So the rest of it, Nikki was involved. It was a circus. Now later that night, another non-emergency C-section happened, and because it was non-emergent, somewhat planned, I got to scrub in for the entire case. So I'm scrubbed in, ready to go. I'm standing next to the 2 residents, and I'm like, okay, this is really cool. I saw what they went through last time. Now I get to be right front and center, right? I set up, things are going well. I'm doing the simple med school things, retracting, cleaning up the blood as they are cutting. The attending's over my shoulder being super encouraging and literally saying, hey, good job, you're doing the best, handing tools, doing the best, lapping up stuff. You're doing the best retracting. I'm like, oh, thank you. And we're getting close to the incision for the uterus, and then he just goes, so you want to catch the baby? Now, rule number 1 of many, many rules as a medical student on your clinical rotations is that if your resident or attending asks if you want to do something, never say no. Because that's a chance for you to learn. Like, that's what you're there for. Go get some hands-on experience. This is an opportunity that may not present itself again. So of course I'm like, sure. As we're getting close, we're getting ready, make that incision. He's like walking me through, okay, so NICU's behind you. You're gonna hold out your hands. You're gonna put your one hand underneath the head, the other one underneath the body, and you're gonna tuck in tight. And then you're gonna raise it up, show the mom, then tuck back in, and then hand off. Now, as you can imagine, C-sections are crazy, and it's 3 o'clock in the morning, adrenaline's pumping, and I'm just calm. I'm really focused on trying to make sure this new life, this new baby comes out safe. The incision is made, the resident pushes it through the uterus, and I'm there to catch it. It's slippery, but I'm holding on tight. Hold it up, show mom, tuck in, turn into the arms of the ICU nurse, and then I turn around and I continue to control the bleeding and finish up the procedure. And one of the things that I love about anesthesia, emergency medicine, as well as surgery is kind of making calmness out of a hectic situation. That's one of my favorite things to do. And one of the ways that you do that is you hyper-focus on the task at hand, which is exactly what I did. The entire time, the attending is there coaching me, and with that, I would consider cautious confidence in what I was doing. The attending was so encouraging. He called me by my first name, which is so underrated for a student, was right behind me and made sure that everything was okay. Procedure finishes, I, scrub out, and then you go about your shift. The adrenaline's still running. And then, you go into your next shift and your next shift. And it's today, a couple days later, when I'm waking up at a normal time, that I question, did that mom know that this cautiously confident medical student was holding their first kid. That was yours. And will that child ever know that this was a milestone memory for me? And it's a lot to take in. Now, I'm only 22. I'm nowhere near close to having my own kid. I'm single, and like having a kid anytime soon is out of the question. So this was my first experience of really sharing that moment of joy with someone. And it's something I don't take for granted. And it's something that, as tired as you are and as hectic as rotations and your clinical experience can be, something that should not be neglected in your time. Practice questions can wait. The charting will be there for you when things are done. But when that moment comes, you be there and be fully invested, because that moment only happens once. Now there's 3 lessons amongst many to take away from digesting this whole situation. One is for the residents and attendings out there. You guys don't understand how valuable it is to us students for your support and your confidence in us to handle these new and sometimes scary, very intimate situations. Dr. Toussaint, you're never gonna watch this, but you were an absolute angel for trusting me, giving me the confidence and the responsibility every step of the way, whether it was just handing an instrument and retracting, all the way up until holding that child in my hands for the first time. There was never a moment where I didn't feel secure and I didn't feel like I was learning and fully invested in that situation. So you, the attendings and residents that are guiding these students, are of the utmost importance in those situations. 2, learn to enjoy these moments that may not come again. Medical school is such a beautiful time to be a part of people's lives in a way that no other profession, no other field will allow you to be. Take these intimate moments, hold them tight when things get rough and tired and crazy as you progress through your medical training. And then 3, I think the most underrated part, just learn to debrief and decompress with friends, family, because they're intense situations very emotionally, which is why I love having this YouTube channel. It's a way for me to decompress, but not just that. Off camera, I have friends both in and outside of med school, as well as my family, who have been such a huge support in helping me get through some of these tough times. I'm actually wanting to make a blog post about some of the unique experiences medical students go through and some of the milestone memories they have, which would not be possible without the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. If you're not familiar with Skillshare, Skillshare is an online learning community with thousands and thousands of courses, from art to photography to entrepreneurship and so much more. You name it, they got it. When I was first building out my portfolio website, I had no idea where to go, so I turned to Skillshare because they have experts there teaching amazing courses made just for you with no ads, so that I, without the expertise of portfolio web design, could build an amazing platform that added a ton of value to my life, both professionally, creatively, and just has been a huge asset in my development. The course that I used was Webflow for Beginners by Jeremy Mura, and well, that course is the reason why I have this incredible website to host all my creative work, including my podcast and blogs, which if you haven't been, please go check it out and sign up for the email listing so that we can tell deeper and better stories over there. Again, Skillshare has added so many layers to this channel and my ways to connect with you, the viewers, that without them, my entire website and this outreach would not be possible. If you are interested in picking up a new skill and adding some value and opportunity to your life, I've worked with Skillshare to allow the first 1,000 people who watch, who click the link in the description below, to get 1 month free from Skillshare. Yes, 1 month free, so that you can learn a skill that you never thought you'd be able to until now. If you guys would be interested in that blog post, or even want me to elaborate on some of my experiences as well as some of my other peers' experiences in a blog post, please let me know in the comments or in my topic request section of the website, of the blog page. It's all there so that you guys have a chance to communicate with us. If you're a medical student or physician, comment some of your milestone memories in the comments below, and we'll see you next time. Hope you enjoyed.